Hey folks, welcome back to Plastic Planes. I'm your host, R.R. Slugger, and today we're taking a look at a personal favorite of mine that includes some unlikely ties to Rock Raiders of all things. This is set 1100 Sky Pirates. Released in 2001, Sky Pirates was a set specifically made for airline companies to offer to families for some in-flight entertainment. Containing 108 pieces, the set... Hang on. LEGO released a set called Sky Pirates in the year 2001? Sheesh. I hope that came out in Q1 of that year because, yikes. Unfortunate naming coincidences aside, this is a really interesting set that features an aircraft, boat and pier, and a great white shark. Let's get the small stuff out of the way first and work our way up from there. This big fish relies on a couple of molded parts that were really popular in the 90s and 2000s, creating a convincing LEGO facsimile of the real thing. White was a comparatively rare color for these elements, but other than that, there isn't too much that's noteworthy here. The next two builds are fairly anemic, though they do contribute a small amount to the setting. The single-seat speedboat makes use of some black inverted slope pieces to make up the hull. Most of the construction is pretty by the numbers, but it's worth pointing out that these orange pieces would have been quite novel back then, as orange was still a new LEGO color. The pier is constructed out of a measly 4 pieces, and contains just enough detail to pass muster. There's a place to store both a harpoon gun and a flashlight, and the boat can be moored using the included chain. Overall, I don't think these side builds add all that much, which leads me to question if our main model is going to suffer as a result of their inclusion. Thankfully, the Sky Pirates main build is really solid, and more than makes up for the deficiencies found elsewhere in the set. The aircraft depicted here is of a twin boom design, meaning that there are 2 auxiliary spars extending from the central fuselage, rather than one continuous shape. Twin boom aircraft are fairly rare in the real world, as the pitch stability benefits are often outweighed by the added drag caused by the second spar. As such, it's also a rare sight to see them within the world of LEGO, adding some measure of uniquity here. Another aspect of this model I find compelling is the color scheme. The blacks and grays pair beautifully with the bright splashes of orange, creating a striking contrast with a lot of visual appeal. The liberal use of orange feels like an intentional choice, and it actually led to the inclusion of these set-exclusive inverted wedge elements. A set-exclusive part contained within a promotional set is rare indeed. The other 2 most prominent orange parts are the pair of monocolored rondels on each wing. While more commonly seen consisting of multiple colors in the real world, I think these 2x2 round tiles are the perfect elements to depict this insignia design within the LEGO medium. To either side of the main fuselage are a pair of relatively beefy prop engines. This tri-blade propeller, part 4617, was a common sight in the 90s and 2000s. It was so ubiquitous growing up that I'm shocked to see that it's long retired now. A shame, but it had a good run. Extending towards the aft section of the craft are the twin booms I spoke about earlier. They meet up with an elongated tail fin that helps balance the design. Appropriately colored navigational lights located at the top of each vertical stabilizer complete the look. The main fuselage of the craft is really interesting to me, as it's quite a bit shorter than most LEGO airplanes I own. Despite its size, however, it doesn't hold back on the number of details it packs in. The canopy piece itself is molded in trans brown plastic. Not my favorite trans color, but suitable given the darker hues found elsewhere across the hull. Inside, we have just enough room for our pilot and a flight stick, taking the form of a steering wheel here. I can't help but feel that there was a missed opportunity in not giving our pilot a set of flight gauges as well. There's plenty of space for some, but alas. What we do have is quite impressive though. Behind the pilot's head is a functional storage space containing 3 gemstones. These are Sky Pirates after all. Honestly, I'm amazed by the effective use of space here. For such a small cockpit, they managed to squeeze in some great play value at no expense to optics. It doesn't stop there though. This rear section of the fuselage can detach to reveal a secondary hidden cargo area. The authorities might ground us and find the gemstones, but they'll never find out what's inside this briefcase. Even if that something is actually nothing. While I understand that some chrome gold coins were probably not within the parts budget, it's definitely something we can add ourselves. So those are the vehicles used by the Sky Pirates. But who are the Sky Pirates? Normally, the minifigures in these promotional airline sets have little significance, but both inclusions today actually tie back to LEGO Rock Raiders, weirdly enough. Starting with our pilot, well, this is just Axel from Rock Raiders. He has the same torso and head combination, but trades his Space Explorer's helmet for a terrestrial one. This exact minifigure also appeared in a LEGO Studio set released the same year. Maybe Axel was having a hard time making ends meet after the LMS Explorer's return to Earth. On the surface, the pilot's accomplice doesn't appear that out of the ordinary. However, remove her life jacket and you'll soon see that she's wearing Sparks' torso, also from LEGO Rock Raiders. This is significant both because of the proximity of Axel's inclusion and because it was the sole appearance of this torso print outside of the before-mentioned theme. It's weird, and I'm not really sure what to make of it. Maybe the LEGO group was trying to get rid of some leftover parts. Or maybe they were trying to get some mileage out of print designs that had already been developed. Either way, the minifigures are notable inclusions in their own right, something that's sure to be a rarity for plastic planes. So now we turn our attention towards the box. The front art showcases all of the included models against an aquatic backdrop with mountainous islands in the distance. Stylistically, it shares a similar blue swoop to that of the Spy Runner, but I doubt this is anything beyond a coincidence. As for the alternate builds, the first one is actually hiding on top of the box, depicting a small twin-seater airplane. The other two are found in a more common location across the back of the box. Plastic Planes is sure teaching me that airplane sets make for good Seacraft alt builds, and both of these boats are no exception. Of the two, I think the large speedboat with water skier speaks to me more, so let's build that one. The boat itself is much more substantial than the one we got in the stock model, and it makes good use of the aerodynamic parts available. I have no difficulty believing it can reach blisteringly fast speeds. Our water skier had better hang on. Besides the main attraction, there are also a pair of buoys and a much improved dock build. This alternate model really seeks to answer the question of what this set would look like if it just ditched the whole plastic planes thing. As it turns out, pretty good actually. Overall, 1100 Sky Pirates still remains a favorite of mine, simply due to the strength and uniquity of its main model. The side builds included here are admittedly rather weak, and, in my opinion, way down an otherwise great set. There are also a number of weird anomalies surrounding the design of this set, and I use the word weird in a positive way. The Rock Raiders minifigure editions are certainly a head-scratcher, and the set name plus the year it released gives me the willies. Still, Sky Pirates sparks the imagination and allows a fairly rare aircraft design some well-deserved time in the sun. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and keep your eyes to the skies.